Once upon a time, there was a World Cup in the United States.
This World Cup tested the loyalty of fans.
So how much did it cost? The tickets?
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
Putting FIFA's reputation on the line.
We are investing this revenue in the growth of the game.
Delivering a show, it seemed maybe not always for the world, but to satisfy these two.
It's for winners only.
All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say you have to do this. This man is a smart, tough man, Johnny Infantino.
So the system's flawed.
And yet at any cost, thousands wanted to be here, still bringing the world together like nothing else can.
First World Cup in 28 years. Go do us proud.
Bonding through football.
No, Scotland, no party.
But were they sold out by FIFA?
I just don't want to go.
Man, I love your stuff, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks.
For 6 weeks, I've travelled across North America alongside my colleagues to see what the World Cup means to supporters, whether they feel let down by FIFA, whether the integrity of football was undermined.
Tonight's opponents, Haiti, face US travel restrictions. Haitians are banned from entry.
I've been playing 10 years.
To the frustration of those already here.
Unfortunately, this is gonna be there forever, and in U.S. history, once upon a time, there was a World Cup in the United States. We call ourselves champion of human rights, but we deny players to come to play. We deny our neighbor less than 2 hours away from us. We deny people to come.
It's sad, it's disgusting, it's painful, and to see that there is no compassion with this president.
Difficulties for Scots getting to the US have centred around documents needed for entry. Kenny Smith was among those who had his revoked just days before departure.
It just sucked the life and soul out of me. You know, the reality of potentially not making the World Cup, horrendous.
It was only after an intervention by the UK and Scottish governments that the issue was resolved.
Coming out of the embassy, it's about 8:30. I've got it.
Last time we saw you coming out of the embassy, tell me your story.
Yeah, it's been wild. Got the visa stamped on the passport, jumped on a plane to Dublin, missed my connection, which was the original flight, so then it put me in jeopardy for the first game. Thankfully, managed to get put on the next flight and made the game by the skin of my teeth. So it's been whirlwind, a lot of stress. I've actually had a wee battle with customs and border control in Dublin. So I'd asked why was the ESTA revoked, and I was told I was arrested in America, then I was told I was arrested at home, and then I was told it was mistaken identity. So the system's flawed.
2 days away from the start of the World Cup across Canada, the United States and here in Mexico. We've already seen Iran have to move their training base from the US to here in Mexico, in Tijuana, over issues getting visas for all of the delegation, and now wider immigration challenges, with FIFA confirming that one of the referees, Somali official, has been denied entry to the US and will no longer referee at this World Cup.
Anybody who's communicating with bad actors that plan harm against the United States of America are not going to be admitted entrants, and we're not going to allow a soccer tournament, no matter how big it is, to threaten Americans.
Gianni Infantino said there were a lot of misconceptions out there and that everyone would be welcome at all three countries co-hosting this World Cup. That is clearly not the case.
So how much did it cost? The tickets?
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. The pretty penny, but it was good.
Don't want to know. I mean, I paid $4.70, but it's worth it. I mean, you've got to be there, you've got to support them.
If my wife's watching, it cost me $0, but if a normal person's watching, it was probably about 3,000 or 4,000.
I'll be 15, 20 grand. About £4,000 each, so we're sharing a bed, so.
I'm not going to kid you, they are very pricey, but like I said, it's worth it, just once in a lifetime.
Why is it worth it? All the money, the hassle to get here.
Right, well, you just need to look at the crack. You need to look at the crack. Honestly, look, I hadn't met these guys before today. They're my best mates now. My best mates.
I think the flight was about $1,100. The ticket was $500.
$500 for a ticket? You'd never pay that in England, would you?
No, it's scandalous. It's absolutely crazy. It's $1,000 for the quarter-final, and you have to pay for all of that up front about 2 months ago.
Really happy to the World Cup is here, but I'm not going. No, it's the people here. They're not going. The people going is they have a lot of money.
So I put concerns about the cost directly to the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. You apologise to fans who feel ripped off and priced out, and when you look to ensure that prices do come down and never as high again. His response went on for 6.5 minutes.
We are investing this revenue in the growth of the game. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody. This allows us to maintain as well free TV.
So there was no apology from Gianni Infantino on ticket prices, also portraying FIFA as powerless to stand up to Donald Trump, to ask him to allow entry to all fans to the US and to overturn the decision to ban Somali referee Omar Artan.
Of course, it is unfortunate as well what happened to Omar. But again, we don't control everything. We try, we will discuss, we will speak, we will see. Maybe sometimes it's good as well to just, chill, relax. We work on everything. We try to solve everything. Sometimes to immediately start screaming and shouting has the opposite effect of finding a solution.
Well, many have come so far to come and see if Thomas Tuchel, Harry Kane and co can deliver the trophy. They've been waiting since 1966 and they've come to enjoy it.
This is what the World Cup is all about. It's certainly what the tournament wants to be. Opposing fans coming together as friends. It looks like the Tartan Army has found soulmates in the Haitians. Everybody's a winner before the game starts.
Oh man, you guys are like crazy. I like it. I love it here. I love it. I made a few friends here. You guys are great people.
What do you think of the Tartan Army, the Scottish fans?
Oh my gosh, they're amazing. Like, welcome to Boston. We're enjoying it. We enjoy the fashion. We enjoy the energy. So happy you're here.
Time for the next round.
A six-pack for every man, woman, and child.
Craig Ferguson walked from LA to Boston for the World Cup, raising money for charity. What message does the Scotland team take from you and this?
Go and do it. Go make history. This is history right here. We're witnessing it. First World Cup in 28 years. Go do us proud.
Heartwarming, I have to say, in terms of how Boston has taken the Tartan Army to their heart. All sorts of gestures. We see the cones on the statues. That's a Glasgow thing. Now a Boston thing, apparently. Boston twinning itself with Glasgow. So we've had the action on the pitch, which has been good and bad, overwhelmingly good and positive in terms of the streets.
They're determined to be here, but they're not happy making these big payments, particularly to FIFA. And it's really unusual going around talking to fans.
Many, if not all, pointing the finger at Gianni Infantino. I mean, that FIFA Peace Prize in the Oval Office, I thought to myself, wait till the football supporting world gets to hear about that.
We've seen Infantino so often in the Oval Office, more than any world leader in the last year or so. Infantino has been there. And there was a sense that Trump gets how big soccer is as a result.
All I did, I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say, you have to do this. This man is a smart, tough man. Gianni Infantino, he's a smart, tough man. And his stock has gone through the roof because the job he's done has been great.
Of all the things I've covered at World Cups, of all the controversies, this has been absolutely incredible. Now just walking through Mexico City Airport, heading to Miami after an extraordinary story I've been covering, not the England game, but this ban being lifted on Florin Balogun. So I've just been updating on Gianni Infantino now defending himself, but the whole integrity of football has been compromised. We're reflecting a lot of the fans, but for some,
maybe the lasting impression is still all about Balogun, still all about President Trump trying to fight for the US team to get his ban lifted.
Whenever we ultimately see an injustice, whenever we see an opportunity to basically level the playing field, we try to step in and do that. And I think the president was able to execute exactly on his vision, which is, hey, we want fair play on the pitch, we want fair play at the ballot box.
It was pretty bad, to be honest.
But hey, we've seen Scotland playing a World Cup, so I'm happy.
We showed them too much respect. I'm just disappointed again. We had it at 1-0, and then we sat back.
I was really sad when we lost. It was devastating.
Is it gutting that for England?
Not gutted, but all I know is Nixon 5. Thank you very much.
For Argentina, this was always about more than football. The bad blood clear, the political undertones laid bare, using their victory to assert sovereignty over the Falklands, 44 years after Britain retook the islands after being invaded. A provocation and breach of FIFA rules banning such political messaging. But Britain's ambassador to the US stayed diplomatic.
And we will look forward to celebrating the game and the match on Saturday in Miami.
Should Argentina be punished for breaking FIFA rules on political messages?
Stick to sport.
There will be no punishment to stop Argentina trying to defend their World Cup against Spain on Sunday.
The UK government has called for action from World Football's governing body, but that has not come yet. And I've been hearing from the White House World Cup Task Force Chief, Andrew Giuliani.
Were Argentina's players wrong to use a World Cup stadium to claim sovereignty of the Falkland Islands, which is territory of your great ally, the United Kingdom? And should those Argentina players who politicised a World Cup match be banned from playing in the final?
Look, we believe in our First Amendment rights here in the United States of America. I think this is going to be an unbelievable final. And in terms of the ability, the opportunity to be able to make, those statements, they have the ability to do that in the United States of America.
FIFA is introducing a new concept of football, the halftime show, and producing it, Coldplay's Chris Martin. Bieber has been added to the lineup with Madonna, Shakira, BTS and Burna Boy. The World Cup final will become just like the Super Bowl. This was Bad Bunny performing at the American football NFL spectacle earlier this year. You can see it as FIFA pandering to the American market. Maybe a way of enticing new fans. Maybe the biggest football match of the year just isn't big enough for some to watch without such a show.
But certainly there's the American elements to it as well, right? We're going to have a halftime show, which is a very American thing, for the World Cup final. Obviously the ticket prices we don't control. That's something that is controlled by FIFA, but as I mentioned before, we've been able to control the prices and the fan experience in the stadium, which I think has been fantastic.
It's about more than just disrupting the rhythm of the game. It could be harmful for players and their recovery. There's an impact on their muscles as they are delayed getting ready for the second half. Infantino says it will be the most watched 11-minute long musical performance in history. Bieber says the FIFA World Cup brings the world together in a way no one else can. But does football need all this extra razzmatazz?
Here's Donald Trump arriving now at the World Cup final. Here he is, the whole motorcade arriving in New Jersey as the president attends the final and hands out the trophy.
Here in New Jersey in the ferocious heat. No roof on this stadium at all. They had to endure the disruption of a record 27-minute half-time for the half-time show of Justin Bieber, Madonna and Shakira. Went way over the normal 15 minutes, but none of those fans cares. They're enjoying their party right the way into the night. They get to celebrate 2 years on from winning the Men's Euros title, 3 years on from winning the Women's World Cup. It's party time again in Madrid.
I don't know if the people is Spanish, but everybody's happy. I am happy, bro.
It's amazing. It's like living the real World Cup here.
We're finally at an end of a World Cup that didn't end in glory for England, but still by finishing bronze meant it was their best World Cup since 1966.
In all honesty, the game was a bit anticlimactic if we're being real. I think the real final should have been England versus France, because the game yesterday, 10 goals.
Donald Trump spent the World Cup final behind protective glass, but then he did step onto the pitch to hand over the trophy alongside Gianni Infantino. There were a smattering of boos in the stadium, and when it was time for Spain's players to celebrate, Trump did linger on the podium before being ushered away. it seems apt to end this World Cup journey in Times Square. It's where I saw so many fans spontaneously erupting in joy from across the world, the melting pot of the celebration of the World Cup, but it's also the heart of American commercialization. And at this World Cup, FIFA was out to make as much cash as possible. They're projecting over $15 billion in income, over £11 billion. So much of that was made from sponsors, but huge amounts from fans, charging them thousands for tickets. And in stadiums, fans saw a game transformed. There was little discussion in the build-up about such a transformation, with a game of halves turning into quarters, with those 2.5-minute drinks breaks disrupting the game. And then there was the halftime show in the final, and that has really been a theme of this World Cup. Maybe FIFA getting what it wants, maybe the Donald Trump White House getting whatever it wants to run this World Cup. Who really was in control of this World Cup? Was it Donald Trump or Gianni Infantino's FIFA? It's certainly not the fans.